welcome to the Weird Side. Every Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, I drag the truth out from behind the veil with real investigators, raw stories, and the paranormal takes most people are too scared to touch. But tonight we're twisting things up. No trivia. Sorry, you guys, no trivia. No single topic deep dive, just a stripped back, freestyle mini roundtable to warm us up for the big one. Our Paranormal Investigators Roundtable happening July 6th, next Sunday, when I'm joined by Cult of Cosmo, Mikey, Flirty Danny, and Rocker Rebel. But tonight, I've got three of my favorite boots on the ground teammates with me. Flirty Danny, who was my featured guest from last week. Mr. Dar, my featured guest who we did the live investigation with. I hope you guys remember that. Rocker Rebel, my featured guest who shared with us some of his investigating experiences as well. So we're going to do paranormal news from around the world. We're going to swap some field stories, take your questions live, and maybe, just maybe, give you a taste of what it's like when investigators get real with each other and you. So grab your flashlight, settle in, and let's crack this thing wide open. This is Into the Unknown. Let's get weird. All right, so before we unleash the roundtable chaos tonight, let's crack open the vault and see what the haunted world's been whispering about this week. Strap in, night crew, because pilots are seeing things they shouldn't. Kentucky's old jails are breathing dread, and Skinwalker Ranch just dropped a DNA curveball that might have dire wolves howling in the shadows. The ghosts aren't the only ones stirring. UFOs, cryptids, cover-ups, the Appalachian secrets. The strange is busy. The veil is thin. And you're about to get briefed on every shadow it left behind. We're starting tonight's headline chase with right over the nation's capital. Because when you see something strange on the radar above DC, people notice. A star-shaped blip recently appeared on the regional weather radar, instantly going viral and sparking heated debate. Was it a glitch? A weather anomaly, or something else that decided to peek through the clouds? UFO enthusiasts point out the shape was too symmetrical to be random noise, while aviation experts shrug and call it a probable radar distortion. But here's the kicker. No one in official circles is stepping up to explain it. So for now, we're left with a sky mystery, a few pixelated images, and a fresh reminder that the best secrets often drift just above our heads. Want to see these radar images? Check out Economic Times India or signalscv.com for the full debate. Next up, if the radar didn't spook you, maybe this will. A commercial airline pilot flying near Reagan National Airport reported an unnerving encounter, a strobing object performing tight racetrack loops just above his plane's flight path. Moments later, it vanished. No heat signature, no trace, just gone. This report joins a long list of similar FAA sightings dating back to 2007, cases where trained pilots described impossible maneuvers and blink of an eye disappearances. Is it a drone swarm gone rogue, experimental craft, or the same old visitors keeping an eye on us from just out of reach? File it under the questions we'll keep asking while the answers stay classified. Dig into the sighting in the FAA archives at signalscv.com. and livenowfox.com. Now, buckle up for this one because sometimes the cover-up is the story. A recently surfaced Pentagon report finally confirms what many conspiracy theorists have whispered for decades. During the Cold War, the U.S. military planted fake UFO stories, complete with doctored photos and radar ghosts. Why? To hide stealth aircraft tests and advanced tech projects under a shiny alien distraction. Sure, some of those lights in the sky were our own prototypes, but here's the delicious twist. If they were busy faking sightings, which ones were real? What secrets got buried inside the lie? Some say the disinformation campaign only deepened the shadows it was meant to erase. You can get the full reveal, again, at livenowfox.com and vice.com where I took this screenshot. Now, let's switch gears from the skies to the stones, because ghosts don't care about your airspace. The APRA, that's the Appalachian Paranormal Research Association, returned this week to the Old Jailers Inn in Bardstown, Kentucky. If you don't know, this place is a no-run-of-the-mill tourist trap. It's an old jail turned B&B with a basement that's rumored to hold more than memories. Investigators reported a thick, oppressed energy mass in the lowest cell block, enough to cause dizziness, nausea, and a crawling sense of dread that forced some team members back upstairs gasping for air. Locals say the jail once held some of Kentucky's worst criminals, and some claim their spirits never checked out. Read more about Bardstown's haunted history on Haunted Discoveries via Wikipedia. Now, from ghosts to cryptids, Lancaster, Pennsylvania just hosted its first Cryptid and Paranormal Weekend, turning an old retro arcade venue into a pop-up base camp for ghost hunters, UFO chasers, and Bigfoot believers. Panels, night investigations, late night flashlight light walks. This wasn't just a merch table and cosplay fest. Folks brought real field gear, shared trail cam footage, and swapped new sightings of regional legends like the Alabat Witch and the Susquehanna River Serpents. Think of it as a paranormal family reunion, except the family includes things that might not technically exist. Details are up on their website, decadeslancaster.com, so you can peek at their blog for event recaps. Now, a brand new episode of This Paranormal Life dropped this week, digging into why the Appalachian Mountains remain one of America's most haunted regions. Cryptids, phantom miners, ghost lights that hover over ridgelines, disappearing hitchhikers that never reach the next hollow. The hosts connect folklore to real cases, documented missing persons, historic graveyards in the woods, and reports of hellhounds or shadow creatures that locals swear are not wildlife. If you're itching for evidence that the paranormal lives closer than you think, Appalachia is calling. Listen at goloudnow.com and just search for This Paranormal Life. Now, y'all are going to see my face beam up. Y'all know I love me some Skinwalker Ranch and everything about this location. So let's go back under the desert stars because Skinwalker Ranch isn't done messing with us yet. Season 6 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch just dropped on the History Channel. The new episodes follow a fresh wave of scientific tests, which I love, and experiments at this paranormal hotspot. Think glowing orbs, cattle mutilations, electromagnetic spikes, and rumors of hidden underground tunnels that aren't on any map. But this week on the show, they dropped a jaw-dropping anomaly. A wolf-like carcass, seen right here, pulled from the Dry Gulch Creek last summer, turned out to be mostly unidentified. Genetic results, about 11% Eurasian or Greenland gray wolf, and a staggering 89% unknown candid. That's DNA that doesn't match any species on file. Any species. The working theory, this creature may be a direwolf, a massive extinct Ice Age predator, and just one of the many cryptid legends linked to the ranch, like giant wolves tracked by the original ranch owners and bull-sized dogs seen disappearing into the desert. What this means? Proof of primeval predators still roaming wild? A genetic mashup or something weirder, a creature from a different timeline? Or just the strangest way for distinction to die, one that doesn't quite make any sense in any data set? If verified, this is the first physical DNA evidence suggesting direwolves or something still exists. That changes the game for Skinwalker lore. Love it or roll your eyes, this series continues to draw both seasoned investigators and skeptics who want the next big smoking gun. To follow the full story, genetic breakdowns, expert interviews, and range footage, catch season 6 on the History Channel. You guys will see me there weekly. Now, finally, here's a weird twist. A new study out of the UK suggests that predictive processing, how our brains fill in missing info, might explain why so many people think they see UFOs, especially drones. The study argues that our brains are so good at guessing, they'll transform a blinking drone into a craft with windows and detail that isn't there. But believers push back. If it's all brain games, why do radar and thermal images back them up? Maybe the truth isn't up there or in here, it's both. Read more in the latest Journal of Paranormal Media. So there you have it. Star-shaped radar ghost over DC, pilots chasing vanishing lights, Cold War secrets that were more cover-up than contact, Appalachian shadows that never sleep, and Skinwalker Ranch teasing us with that DNA that just doesn't fit into our world at all. If the headlines are this strange, just imagine what's still hiding where the cameras can't reach, and the truth refuses to sit still. Now, Let's take a quick pulse check. You're watching Into the Unknown live every Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, right here where we chase shadows and dig where the sane fear to tread. If you're loving the vibe tonight, hit that favorite, drop your wildest theories in the chat, and remember, next Sunday is the big one, our full Paranormal Investigators Roundtable on July 6th, when I'm joined by Culta Cosmo, Mikey who's in the chat, Flirty Danny who's with us today, and Rocker Rebel who's also with us today. If you've got a burning question for them, DM me on IG and you might just hear it answered live. Tonight is the last night to get those questions to me, by the way. So grab your flashlight because we are not done yet. All right, night crew. Looks like the weird just keeps getting weirder. So let's do what we do best. Let's rip the lid off and talk about the strange straight from the front lines. We're keeping it raw tonight with our freestyle mini roundtable. Me, Danny, Dar, and Rocker warming up for the main event next week. So you guys will go ahead and request the guest box. We'll crack this thing wide open together. The rest of you, settle in, drop your wildest theories in the chat. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes for us tonight. Let's get you guys in here. There's one. There's two. And there's three. Now, hold just 1 second because my show recording's got to change up for this. And I want to make sure we get this good. There we go. All right, so let me come back over here. Let's get you guys introduced. So here they are, you guys. Flirty Danny, Mr. Dar, Rocker Rebel, back inside Into the Unknown. If you've been here for their individual shows, you already know they're the real deal. But for anyone new tonight, especially my fresh faces from Chronic Chris's featured show fair, these three live in the field. They've seen it, experienced it. They always bring back stories that make you double check your locks. So we're going to do this up right. I want you guys to reintroduce yourselves for the folks who might be meeting you for the first time. Tell us when you stream what you have coming up. And, seriously, you guys, thanks for jumping in at a moment's notice tonight. It means the world to me that the world gets to see our little crew and hear our little antics and men banter tonight. So let's take it away with Rocker Rebel. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll get to Danny, and then we'll go to Mr. Dar, who's underneath a new name tonight. But you guys, that's our Dar.
I forgot.
It happens. Okay. I'm Rocker Rebel, also known as AJ. You'll find me here next week on Into the Unknown Paranormal Roundtable at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, Danny, take it away.
I am Flirty Danny. The only thing I have coming up is Class Wins auction in July for substance abuse and suicide awareness, and also check out both of our IGs. Class Win is in the comments. I do have a new show we are working in the progress for with the Travel Channel and the Discovery Plus Network, doing paranormal activity. I also do paranormal investigations throughout the year and work in a haunted asylum. So yes.
You got it all down there. All right, Dar.
So my name is Mr. Dar, or Mr. Undersnipe. Very long story, not getting into that one. I am going to be on Goop Talk this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in for that. And if you guys haven't seen the episode, like she said, we did a live investigation of what's going on, and we found out there is two spirits roaming around, especially one that's connected towards me. So I got my flashlight right here to see if it's willing to click on it.
I love it. All right, you guys see why I roll with this crew. Now that you know who's in the box, let's crack this open properly, if there's a way to do anything properly on my stream. We've got stories, theories, and maybe still a few confessions left here to kick off. So let's get it kicked off. You guys, I want you all to know every episode of Into the Unknown is recorded. It is put on my YouTube channel called Kraken's Voice. You guys can go out there and watch everybody's episode, the after shows, all of that fun stuff. It is out there. I've got something new to announce later in the show that's also going to be out there, but we'll get into that later. So First off, since Dar, you brought it up, what's it been like since we did the spirit box and all that with the live investigation?
Everything has calmed down a little bit. Like, I haven't experienced anything as much, but I have seen, and this was weird because a couple of days ago I did see, I thought it was like an arm of some sort, right? So I have a shelf right there, and I thought I saw an arm laying on one of the shelves, and it was gone. But
Wait, is
that
it the
was
shelf
about
where you
it.
keep the candy?
No, this is a different shelf. So I have my like knickknacks and that kind of stuff on the shelf. So, and I thought I saw like an arm, like just an arm laying on one of the shelves, and it was gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad things have calmed down though, because it was a little wild. It was very, very wild. Very wild.
I am
All right, Rocker,
sorry
what's
if
been going on?
everybody's
No, I want to get an update from everybody first, because you got your peeps coming back in here checking things out. So I want to get an update from everybody. Danny, you'll go last because you were just in here last week.
Yeah.
So I found another friend on Instagram I started talking to a few weeks ago, and she was actually experiencing paranormal activity in her home. And I actually found out that she had porcelain dolls that actually have attachments to them.
Oh, wow.
That she has up on up on a shelf above her bed. And while I've been on like video call talking to her about this, and she has other friends that are paranormal investigators that they live closer by, so they try to come in and try to help too. One day when I was just on one of the video calls, stuff started happening throughout her home. There was like knocks on the wall, there was banging going on. You could hear voices in the other room having a conversation, but there's nobody actually in that kitchen. And I could hear it through the phone call, and I was like, well, what's actually stirring this up? What actually stirred up the dolls, since these all actually have attachments to them? Well, she brought out a EMF detector, and it was just going off like crazy if you put it next to that shelf. And of course, all the animals were going to react to that, because they can sense that stuff better than some people can. So of course, they're going to be barking.
We can sometimes too.
Right. And so I tried to help as much as I could with it, answers and what to do in these different situations, how bad this activity will actually keep going, or what times. And something she didn't actually realize at that time is, like, it doesn't matter what time it is during the day or night. If these things are actually stirred up, they're just going to continue with that activity until they calm down, or until you
and
give
that's
them
something
the attention.
important.
You're right.
That's important to know, because you guys, like everybody, we watch these shows and we watch these investigations happen at night. It's just because it's easier for us with our equipment, right? But it happens during the day. Like, it's not just like a nighttime thing. It's not just a witching hour type of thing. It happens during the day. And that's what, when I deal with clients and they have stuff that are happening during the day, I think it creeps them out more when it happens during the day than it does at night, because you kind of expect stuff to happen at night, because that's just kind of been what we see and what we watch. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that is something very important to know. All right. I'm checking out the comments because there's a couple things I want to get back to when we open this up. Danny, what's happened since last week? Anything?
Depends on the location we're talking about.
Everything you touch seems to have something going on.
Yeah, it just comes with the ability, and comes also with the sense of, I have a target on my back. So,
it happens when you're a medium and they know that you can hear them and interact with them, right? Like, you kind of have to learn to shut that off sometimes.
Yes, which is why I am leaving town for a couple of days next week when Annabelle comes to visit. So there's going to be a lot of things storing up, and there's already some things progressing that is storing up in Gettysburg. I don't want to be around. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
good.
that. I can't wait to hear about that visit, right? I cannot wait to hear about that visit, especially with everything else that's been like going on around Annabelle's visits, right? You guys, yes, we're talking about Annabelle, like the Warrens, Annabelle, the actual doll,
Not the porcelain doll, the Raggedy Ann doll.
the Raggedy Ann,
Yeah.
not the beautiful porcelain doll, but Raggedy Ann doll.
My last
okay.
visit with her was not nice, so we'll try
I
not.
don't think any visit would be, right? Like, I don't know. You got to have some major kahunas to be playing with Annabelle. So, Lugs, thank you for keeping the chat clean tonight. I did want to address some things that person was saying, without really calling them out, but you guys, I've been doing this for 16 years. Danny's been doing it for a while. I know Mikey in the comments has been doing it for a while. Rocker, you've been doing it for a while. Dar, you've been involved with some stuff for a while too. Like, we don't take any of this lightly, right? A lot of the people that are connected within the paranormal community, we're connected for a reason, because we're either here to scientifically prove things, right? We've had personal experiences, or we've had something happen that we've needed help from somebody else. And so we've reached out to people in the paranormal community about it. So while this app is for streaming and fun and people have fun on it, my show is a little bit different, because we do get into the reality of the paranormal and things that are happening. So when we do see comments like that, I do appreciate my bouncers at that point taking care of things, because there are a lot of people in here that do believe in this and are affected by it. And those that come in and aren't, I'm sorry that you guys are ignorant enough that you're not learning and studying about a lot of things. So I hope that my show educates people enough to where you feel comfortable being in here and asking questions in the comments and not feeling like you're being judged. So, and I appreciate all my guests that come on every week, because it does take a lot for you to come in and tell your story and do it in front of people that you know, right? That may or may not know some of the things that you've dealt with or encountered, or, any of that type of thing. So just always know that this stream, I'm going to say it's a safe place, but we have activity happen in here too. So just know anything, you guys know, y'all have been on the show, anything can happen during the show. We've had interference that's been really bad that we've had to go into the after show. We've had spirit box readings, like we've had all that kind of stuff. So just know coming in here is safe. It is a safe place for you guys. I want you guys in the comments. I know you're here to not only support your peeps here in the boxes and support each other in comments, but if y'all have questions, pop them out here. I'm going to get you guys warmed up for next week. Feel free to ask any questions. You guys feel free. Like if you've had something that you've encountered this week or come across this week, somebody's asked you, I really want to educate people this hour on different things, update them. So if you guys have questions, shout it out, you guys. Welcome into the show. Let me do my show break real quick, and then we'll get back into it again. So if you guys are still hanging in here, which I can see from the chat that you are, you're tuned into the Unknown, your Sunday night passport to the weird, the haunted, and of course the unexplainable, streaming live every Sunday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. We're going to give a shout out to the top gifters here in just a little bit. I want to also give a shout out to my bouncers again, who keep this ghost ship afloat. Don't forget that we've got the big roundtable coming up next week. And then after that, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, because I'm going to be behind a bar conjuring up some different kind of spirits, if y'all know what I mean, for a wedding. So then when I come back, we'll be back with Catch, and we'll be talking about some conspiracy theories. So you guys hang in there. Feel free, again, if you're in the comments, let's ask some questions. We're still taking some questions for the roundtable next week. If you guys in the box think of any that we need to address as well, except for Danny and Rocker, you're not allowed because you're on the panel next week. Just kidding. Anything you guys want to talk about, let's get it out there on the table. So what is probably, since coming on the show and us having a conversation, y'all being involved in the show, what's one of the topics that you would tell somebody that comes to you and they're like, hey, I've had this experience? What's probably the first thing that you might share with them? Don't everybody go?
I think honestly, the top one I would probably share would actually be shadow figure wise. The experiences of actually witnessing a shadow figure, and different kinds. There's different shapes of ones, and ones that you would either spot like out of the corner of your eye, or ones you would spot like down the hallway, fully there's a full figure. One of the top, I guess, more well-known ones is the Hat Man, which some say, yes, that is a shadow figure. Others actually will say that it's like a interdimensional being. They don't really know exactly what this is, but it's a phenomenon that has been known throughout the world in all different cultures, all different locations for many years now. So, yeah, some say they believe that it's the leader of the shadow figures, like a whole legion of different ones. So, and I've witnessed him the very first time when I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an experience I would never forget.
I can imagine. Has it been the same that you've seen since, or has it been different? Has it altered?
It's been different a few times, but actually within the most recent home I've been in now, I haven't actually frequently seen shadow figures as much as I did while I was still living in a town. And I think it actually had a lot to do with the town. I think there was something that went on within the land of the town, or something that was drawing more of a darker energy to that area, which would be more frequent to have these shadow figures around. Now, like if you go to a graveyard or something middle of the night, yeah, you're going to have more prone to see apparitions or see shadow figures. But like even in my grandparents' place, you would see this thing at random times, basement door, basement stairs, dining room. And it would move around. It didn't really feel fully menacing the whole time. More of like lurking.
Just being.
You were unsure on its motives,
Yeah. Did you do any history on the location or anything like that to see if you could find out anything more on it?
Now, the first time I did any actually research on the first time I actually experienced him was in the apartment that I grew up in. And I actually found out that before the apartments were actually built there, it was a farm in farmland, and that farm actually burnt down.
Oh, wow.
In like the 30s. So I'm not sure if it might have been a family member to that family that was in that barn fire, or if it was something that caused that fire, and it's something older.
That's interesting.
So it actually needs a little bit more research. It's something I'd like to dive back into now that I have more experience within it.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a freaked out moment as a kid seeing it.
Well, and when you don't know, right? When you don't know it does freak you out a little bit. And then you get older, you start researching, you start learning a little bit more, you have more experience with it. It still freaks you out, but not to the point where you're like, what is going on? Now it's more like you said, why is it here, right? What are we dealing with here? So, all right. So we're talking shadow figures is the first thing you're gonna say. Danny, I know we've seen some together in your stream, right? So what would be your first thing?
I was trying to find the screenshots. Walking at Penhorst, you have to kind of think. When people send you photos or you get look at timestamps and then figure out, oh, that is what we saw, or oh, that was someone walking 5 feet. I know I sent Kraken a couple photos at one point of the little girl that likes to walk around upstairs at Penhorst.
Mm-hmm.
We've had when I'm live streaming, especially from here, there is a shadow figure that walks around the property, and if just bringing up any experience with them, it seems like it's like calls them just right to wherever we're at. Me and Kraken was having just a regular conversation, and all of a sudden someone from both of our fan bases sends me screenshots of someone right out my bedroom door. as I am doing something on my desk over here as I'm talking to Kraken. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit, considering I am, which was very fast to debunk that it was a shadow figure, because the road is about, I'm gonna say, about 3,000 feet away from me. So if it was anyone walking, they would have had to at least be 20 feet tall to get in, even into my back window. And the headlights would probably have to be the size of a football stadium to even get flashing by my door, by my window out there, outside the store. So
We had a freaky night that night with that. I remember that night because it was right there in the doorway at one point.
I have a lot of people that were sitting in my lives waiting for something to happen, no matter where I'm at. If I'm back at my main house, there's a bride that likes to walk around my house at the other house. So people will wait and see her, and they will screenshot her. I will sometimes just leave my live go sometimes just to see if anyone sees anything while I'm asleep, because I'm kind of still wrapping my head around it because I don't always see them.
Until you go back and look at the footage.
Yeah.
It creeps you out. All right. So, Dar, what's the first thing you're going to say to somebody that comes up to you now and says, hey, I've had this paranormal experience, or I've had something going on?
I know we covered the shadow figure one. I haven't. No, I've seen recent shadow figures, especially the one that is the shape of a cat. That one's very interesting. I think the one is like, have you seen like small little balls of light? Just out of the blue? Because with the experience that I told you like a couple of weeks ago about the two lights parallel from each other on the wall. My room has no windows or anything, and they were like bright as bright can be, and it freaked me out. Like I was live when that happened too, and when I saw it, and it like I turned my head around and it was like gone.
Did everybody in your stream see it too, or was it just you? Was it off to the side?
Me. Yeah, it was just off to the side for me to see. And my stream just literally saw me freak out. Then when I turned around, it was like gone, and it freaked me out even more.
It hasn't happened since, or it has?
No, it hasn't happened since after that.
So did you have any other activity with it after that? Like, I know we talked about other stuff going on in your room and all of that. Was there anything else that picked up around that same time?
I mean, this happened like, 3-4 years ago with the parallel light thing. Then that transpired to the bag of Jolly Ranchers thrown across the room and that kind of stuff, and my body like lifting myself. This one's weird. It's kind of hard to explain because not like a body shouldn't do this. So I'm laying on my side and everything, and I'm a side sleeper. I go from this to almost a 90 degree, then back down for some reason.
Oh, wow.
And like, I don't hear, like, I didn't feel like my body shifting a little bit, other than I felt like I was upright, then my head just crashed into the pillow. Yeah, placed, and I didn't wake up from it. I was like dead asleep when it happened, but I felt everything.
So do y'all feel like, okay, so you've had all these, and y'all in the chat, like I'm reading what y'all are saying in the chat too, so don't think that I'm ignoring y'all. I'm pretty good about this in my stream. During my show, it's a little different, but during my stream, it's something else. Do y'all feel like now that we have had conversations, right, and we've gotten to know each, like I knew some of y'all, before I took my break, and I've gotten to know a lot of y'all a lot better since we gotten back. It seems like we're a little bit more open with our experiences now, right? So do y'all feel like sometimes, you've got this crazy stuff going on? I know it happens in my house. You got crazy stuff going on. Do you ever feel like you want to like put a camera on yourself and just be like, okay, I'm going to stream, but I'm going to have a separate camera on to catch lights, catch shadow figures, catch door, like all of that kind of stuff. Do you feel like you need to, okay, Dar, you just had this happen to you when you were sleeping. Do you want to put a camera on you when you're sleeping to see what happens? Like, do y'all feel like you want to jump to documenting now to start not just like justifying your feelings or making sure you're not crazy, but just to start going down that path of WTF?
Yeah, kind of.
Definitely. And I've done that already, honestly. So
you do it live, like you do your live that way. But I mean, are y'all thinking, like, for me, you know, in my office, so my stream room's also my office. It has my brother's guitar in it. You guys know about my music box and my brother. We can't turn it on without having to go crazy with it, right?
Yep.
So, and I have, you know, sentimental stuff from my dad in here too. So, you know, I feel like there are times, like the other night, I was recording my podcast intro. And if you guys don't know, I use a green screen behind me for my OBS, right? So there's literally a green drape behind me. Y'all don't see this thing moving when I'm doing my show, but I was recording, it's in the same place, right? Same pinup, same everything, right? I'm sitting here recording my podcast and it's moving as I'm, you know, recording, talking about my experiences and stuff. It doesn't move when I do my show. So I've gotten to the point where people are probably going to think I'm crazy. I am literally thinking about putting a camera in the corner of the room and just watching this room when I'm not here.
I have a lot of people who use ring light, motion sensor, the motion sensor ring light. I know it's like a doorbell, but it honestly works great, especially with paranormal hunting. There was a lot of people I know that actually have used them just to make sure that they're not actually going insane.
Yeah.
Well, you know, so my whole camera setup, when I go investigate, when I do client houses or when we go out to haunted locations, my whole camera setup's in this closet. So I'm halfway tempted to even bring it out because there's times that my daughter has even come out and said, hey, Mom, did you hear such and such? I'm like, what are you talking about? No, I didn't hear that. But it seems to be, you know, activity upstairs in our house, not so much downstairs. We have the dogs downstairs and y'all, you know, we talked about the animal sensing stuff, right? So I'm halfway tempted to even bring that out, bring the monitor out and stick it in my bedroom and just watch. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to bring anything in that's like, oh, hey, it's that paranormal chick. Let's go say hi to her and get some attention, right? I don't want to do that either. You got to stay balanced on all this stuff. So I don't know. Like, and this is coming from somebody that's done this for a while, right? So I don't know, but I kind of want to document the scientific data aspect of it too, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's got to be a line on like what you want to try to invite in and what you don't want to actually have an invitation in that's just going to step in the middle of investigating some, you know, little activity you have within your house. Yeah. And then something else steps through and it escalates to something worse. Yeah.
Well, it's bad enough when you're helping clients and you've got what you're trying to get rid of for your client coming. And y'all, if y'all haven't heard that story, we'll talk about it some other time. But I have had some weird stuff happen in my house and happen towards my kiddos too, just to be distracted from getting rid of this entity that was after one of my clients. And so there have been times where you guys, I bless my house once a month. Like I do it on the full moon. I have to, as an investigator, you have to. When you, Danny, you're a medium, you probably do something similar, right? Like you have to do all of that stuff at some point. You have to cleanse, you have to protect yourself. So for me, it's like, yeah, I do want to further the science and I do want to collect the scientific data, but I don't want to do it at my own expense, right? I don't, but I don't mind doing it elsewhere.
I mean, I do it more than once a month just because I am dragging stuff in from even the grocery store. And I have to also bless myself, not just my house, because I need to cleanse my mind as well and make sure nothing is coming near me. I have had demons attached to me before and had to detach them. And it's not a fun process if you don't know what you're doing.
That part,
Yeah.
that part. I've actually had, I mean, Kane's talking in the comments. I had helped Kane this week with some stuff that was going on. So it's definitely one of those things, you guys, like, it's not fun to deal with. It's really not fun to deal with. But, you know, you do have some investigators that will do stuff in their own house and draw stuff in. Like, it's like, I know my brother's here. I know my dad's here. You guys see me do my pendulum readings with my dad. I've tried to communicate with my brother, but he will not shut up on the dang music box, right? So I don't want to do that method again because it's like, oh, right? But at the same time, I'm like, if I document it, it's documentation, right? I can't bring anything else in, right? No, you can. Like, you still have to open and close those sessions directly. So, you know, it's just, to me, I'm curious what other people are thinking when they've got stuff going on. I mean, we were talking about shadow figures, right? We're talking about, you've got balls of light going on. You've got an arm that you thought you saw. You had, you know, the jelly beans that got thrown across, right? You've got all this stuff going on. It's like, what do we really want to put power to that for it to continue? Or, you know, do we want to just kind of wait and see what happens on its own and not really invite it in? What do you think about over there, Danny? I see it on your face.
No Ouija boards. That's all I gotta say. No
Oh, I
Ouija
agree.
boards.
I don't even mess with those either. Once I see it, I'm like, nope.
I've had
I don't wanna
enough
even look at it.
people call me and tell me about that.
Yeah, no.
I'll be
No,
like,
and if you
have
guys are
fun.
going to mess with it, open it and close it correctly, and make sure during that you were intentional about what you were looking for and who you were wanting to connect with. I do it all the time with my pendulum. People get on to me with my pendulum. It's no different than using a Ouija board. You're right. It's not, but I control the session, right? Like, that's what I have to do. That's my job. I have to control that session and what's coming in. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that we could be doing out there, and there's stuff that we could be doing to filter out or allow in at the same time. So I think it comes down to what you're comfortable with, right? I don't have any problems going out and investigating somebody's home or going to another haunted location. But when it comes to my house, like, this is my peace. This is where I get my rest, right? Stuff starts happening here. Like, I've got to quickly discern, is it family friendly, right? Is it, you know, my brother or my dad, or is it something else that I've brought because I've been helping a client or I've been helping someone else, right? So yeah, it totally freaked me out when I was sitting here working on my podcast that night, because it was dead quiet here. My daughter wasn't here. She was over at her boyfriend's house. Like, the cat wasn't in here because I had the door shut. So to see it waving behind me, and y'all, I even took like binder clips and put it on the bottom of it just to try to, you know, get some sanity about it. And it was still moving. So sometimes I'm just like, is there something else here sometimes? And doing the show with all of the, like, even tonight, it was funny. Rocker, you were talking earlier, and it's like, here's all of this, you know, noise coming in over you from the crossover. And I'm like, sometimes I wonder if that's not done on purpose, especially during my show. I think we've all encountered it.
Yeah, I think sometimes it is. I mean, just like when Mikey was on the show and it shut down your stream like, what, 2-3 times
Mhm.
randomly through it. And I don't think that was more just the Meet Me app. I think that was something
No.
I just didn't want to be on camera, didn't want to be known.
I'm glad you brought that up, because you guys, next week, Mikey's in the comments right now. Mikey, I'm glad the ghost is gone. I'm glad we finally, that was a long battle with that one. But you guys, next week, I'm telling you, with Mikey in the box, I'm hoping the stream doesn't get shut down again. So Mikey, get your ghost in order before you. God, I know.
It'll
Look,
be
Gary's like,
Don't
it's just your
activate
show.
mine.
Here's
I
another
swear,
featured
Mikey.
host.
It,
It's just because we talk about the paranormal in here, you know. That's why I tell you people, get your snacks, get your water, get your popcorn, because you never know what's going to happen in here. And if you miss it, like I said, it's always up on YouTube. It's recorded it on YouTube, so it's kind of good. Catch, I see you in the comments. You guys, make sure you favorite Mushroom Princess. We're going to be doing conspiracy theories soon. Another topic that we like to talk about. So thanks for popping in here tonight. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. So we have the big paranormal roundtable next week. What is something that with tonight, you can either leave with people to think about for next week. You can give us a piece of advice to people, or what is maybe something that you'd like us to talk about next week? I'll give you a couple options there.
I would say for anyone that's actually curious within, especially ghost hunting wise, start off small. Start off with something of like, find a local cemetery or country graveyard or something like that. Get a couple of friends together. Don't go to a ghost hunt alone. Have a game plan for that. And then if you want to work your way up to a building, do it over a period of time once you actually learn more into the field, because it's normally a bad idea to go into a haunted location, into a building, even with a group, when you are more of a novice within the field and you don't know as much at that time, especially if the spirits there are not as welcoming and they do not like people going into their domain. It can turn bad fast. So
that part,
just something to be cautious of when you go into areas like that. Have a game plan, have an exit strategy if you need it. You know, cleanse yourself before going in, cleanse yourself
after
the building. That would be my piece of advice.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And make sure you guys, like, if you're going with somebody else, if you're going in a group, listen to the veterans. They know what they're doing. And if they don't, come back here and tell me, and I'll go yell at them or something like that.
Yeah.
Y'all know I like to yell at people. All right, Danny.
First things first, I'm gonna agree with Rebel. Don't do what I do. I am not a good person to look up to. I have yelled at it looks like I'm yelling at myself. I am not afraid, but I also go in by myself too. Sometimes I don't have no choice though. Don't follow what I do. It's not the best advice to go. And the thing, is back at the main house, I'm 15 minutes away from the Gettysburg Orphanage. So we do have a lot of children's spirits. I fascinated by that for many years. So something to leave off with next week.
Let's do it. I'm coming to visit you. We are going to Gettysburg next year. When I get all my vacation time back, we're going.
I'll throw you in there. I'll throw you in the orphanage. I already know madam's name. I'll lock you in there, and then I'll be from the window. Just start knocking on the window.
I'm bringing my Connect. Y'all are all coming with me. Bringing the Connect.
We'll leave Kraken inside the orphanage. I'm just saying, she's dating me. And I need to find more Legos because I do use them a lot around the stuff I investigate.
As long as I don't have to step on a Lego, we'll be okay.
I might do it on
Fortnite. With you. All right, Dar, how are you going to follow up Danny?
I don't think I can on that one, other than stepping on the Lego part. I know I always want to go on a paranormal investigation. Like, it always intrigues me because there's like certain things that like attract me to it, but it's like it's almost like I can sense it, but it's also like I don't want to, mess with it in a way.
It's kind of that whole, no. Well,
yeah, no. Exactly. You're like, that's no. I need to bring someone with me. But I know with what I'm experiencing and that kind of stuff, I know there will be like some people that think that they're experiencing. If you're actually like seeing something, and we talked about it, try and document it in a way, because of what my experience is, that I saw a point of view, it's a whole different ballpark. Like, now I just deal with it, but like back then it would like literally like terrify me in a way. Like, there will be like times that I don't want to sleep, and Yeah, like there was times that I don't want to sleep in my room because of what's going on, and he just came and touched my arm. I just felt up.
You never know what's going to happen during the show when you're in the box. I'm telling you. Never know.
She knows that I'm talking about it, so I literally felt a hand just go wrapped around my arm. It's like she's right there.
Now, when you tell me you get a finger in your ear, we're definitely going to know who that is, right?
Yeah, that's my cousin.
We figured that one out.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 5 minutes left. If you guys want to stay, we can do a little bit of the after show. I'm not staying up late tonight. I think I stayed up till 3 a.m. last time for the after show, but we can stay for the after show. We can answer some direct questions. You guys that are in the comments, if y'all want to box up and ask some questions, we can do that too. All right, let's go real quick. When you stream, where people can find you, what you got going on. Let's go with Rocker first.
Okay, so the only thing I have coming up within this next week is the next Paranormal Roundtable Into the Unknown, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, I don't really have anything else coming up until the 22nd of July. I'll be on Vampy's Melody Madness, and that's at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be on that on the 22nd of July. Otherwise, I just kind of just go into other people's boxes randomly, so you just have to search for me on there.
Very, very good. All right, Danny.
Hi. The only really thing I have coming up is just check my IG, Classwim. I think she's still in the comments. Check out her IG for the auction I'll be participating in on 7/25 for the suicide awareness and substance abuse auction. And also just check out my IG too for updates on my show from Discovery Plus Network with working with the Travel Channel. And that's about it. And all my other events that I'm doing.
Everything else that you do. Danny dabbles into everything. Y'all got to watch him. All right, Dar, take us away.
Yeah, so I pretty much stream sporadic. Usually I stream at night around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I'm also going to be on Goob Talk this Friday, hosted by King Goober at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in and bring laughter.
I saw Vampy in the comments. Vampy, if you want to promote your show, please do so in the comments. I didn't see Goob, but if Goob wants to do it, or if you want to do it for Goob, put that in there too, you guys. Like all of us featured show hosts, we love to connect with each other and advertise for each other. So put it in the comments. Get people in there. You guys fave these people. All right, you guys hit all the guys with a fave before they pop out of the box. They'll be back in a few minutes for the after show. I'm going to try to wrap this up real quick, play the outro, which is about a minute, and then we'll come back into the after show and let's see what kind of trouble we can get into with these spirits. So I'm going to pop you guys out of the box. We're going to wrap this up, and I'll see you guys here in just a minute if I can find my mouse. See you guys. Thanks for coming on. Let's get you guys going. Oh, you know what? My OBS sometimes just does not want to work right. There we go. All right. So what you guys think about that warm up? I got a huge shout out for the guys. Thank you so much, Danny, Dar, and Rocker for jumping in tonight, giving us a tasteful of the energy and a little, preview of what we've got coming up next week. Next week, July 6th, Sunday night, 11 p.m., Into the Unknown. We're doing the Paranormal Investigators Roundtable. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. So you will have Cult of Cosmo back, Mikey back. Hopefully Mikey doesn't bring his ghost with him this time. Flirty Danny and Rocker Rebel. You guys, thanks again for joining me tonight. I couldn't have done this show without y'all tonight. So thank you for that. If you haven't already, make sure you're favoriting all of them. And talking about favorites, let's look and see who our top gifters were for the night. Number 3 was Nicholas. Number 2 is Gary's World. And number 1, Top Badge Catch. Thank you. Thank you for your commentary in the comments. We'll get to that in the after show. All right. So to everyone who found us tonight through the Chronic Chris's featured show fair, welcome to the spooky side of Sunday nights. I'm here every Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern with haunted headlines, real world cases, and investigators who never hold back, except next week when we go extra deep. Again, next week, we're going to be doing our Paranormal Roundtable live. I cannot wait. So After that, I will not be on. I'm going to be handling a different kind of conjuring of spirits. Then I will be back on the 20th. Catch, hopefully you are available then, and we'll go ahead and get our conspiracy theories going. Y'all will have fun with the two of us. So, you know us, we just don't know how to hold back on some stuff. So, and one more thing, let me get my little pictures going here. So we have got next week's show, right? It says the 7th, it's actually the 6th. And then my big news, welcome to my podcast, Cracking the Veil, a paranormal briefing. It officially launches this week. The welcome episode is already out there. The first episodes will drop on my YouTube channel, Kraken's Voice. So if you crave even more haunted headlines, hidden history, and deep dives that you won't see anywhere else, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. So thank you again to all of my ride or die night crew, my gifters, my bouncers, my spooky squad. Thank you for showing up, keeping the world alive every single week. So you guys, until next week, keep your senses sharp, your flashlights close, and your curiosity wide open. Sleep tight, dream strange, and remember, when the shadows whisper, Kraken's already listening.